Hi all, it's good to see you, and I'm so delighted that you're watching this very short video. This will be a quick introduction or discussion on volunteerism. So part of this course requires and certainly encourages you to spend some time in a nonprofit organization. So this video will talk about the parameters of that expectation, but then also the things that you can expect, the benefits and some of the interesting challenges that you will experience in your volunteer activities. So thanks again. I look forward to touching base with you, and please touch base with me if you have any questions as we move forward. Thanks. All right, as we get started, we're going to spend a little bit of time talking about volunteering at a nonprofit. This course is very unique in the sense that we're going to talk about a lot about the intersection between business marketing and nonprofit organizations. And it's a unique course because one of the things we want to be able to do is use multiple learning methods to see how the content of the course actually plays out in real life. So one of the things we need is to embrace this idea of learning outside the classroom, not necessarily from a textbook and not necessarily from the confines of a home or a classroom or only looking at a screen to watch a video like this very exciting one that you're watching. So as a nonprofit volunteer, our goal is for you to be able to see firsthand how marketing can impact an organization that is unique, like a nonprofit, the nonprofit space that you'll be working in. So as a function and kind of process here within the course, during the term you'll have a series of homework assignments that relate to the nonprofit organization, and the best way to do these homework assignments is to be in a nonprofit organization so you can see how they run and see how our work can affect them. Now, you may ask, well, what kind of nonprofit should I think about volunteering at, and why should I, and how should this work? So I want to just point out three different components here. First, nonprofits are very, very, very diverse. So if you have an interest in something, then you most likely know that there's a nonprofit for it. It can be a social oriented nonprofit, it could be a service related nonprofit, it could be a religious organization, it could be a political organization. Generally speaking, if it's a 501c3, it's probably okay. Again, one of the keys to the class and choosing your nonprofit is that it should be large enough to have clients, to have revenue, or to have some resource, donations coming in and things like that. It should probably have some type of hierarchical organization to it, like a director or a manager or offices or locations. So we don't want a nonprofit that's super, 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 super small, but it needs to be large enough that you can go and understand some of the complex natures an organization would have. But in terms of choosing the type of nonprofit, again, it can be very, very diverse in terms of your choice. And my guess is you're probably already involved in at least one nonprofit as it is. Most people are involved in 3 or 4 nonprofits. So the question is, do you already have an interest? Are you already involved in a nonprofit? And could you spend some time working with them, at least on a limited basis? So if you're already volunteering, that's great. You're already active in a nonprofit, and that's maybe where you look to first in choosing a nonprofit to focus your homework assignments upon. Be sure to remember that the size and the scope of the nonprofit matters. So make sure that you're finding a nonprofit then that is active. It can be local, it can also be regional, national, or even international in scope. So in other words, it can serve clients in lots of different capacities, either locally right in your neighborhood or regionally or, like I say, nationally. But it does need to be an active nonprofit that has clients served and people that it employs and such, and volunteers. So if you have any questions about that, please let me know. One of the first things you'll look to do is complete a volunteer form that will be on Blackboard, as well as a general waiver and release form. So you'll want to complete these two forms, submit them via Blackboard before the end of the first week. So make sure you look at the schedule and the syllabus to identify when those are going to be taking place. The idea here in terms of the expectations for the course are to volunteer roughly 1 hour per week. You're probably going to hit about 10 hours or so during the term. You can, of course, do more, but the expectation is that the minimum you would do would be 1 hour per week. Now, it may be that you volunteer and you do multiple hours in blocks of time. So if you wanted to do 2 or 3 hours at once and do that a few times throughout the term, that would suffice. However, the key to doing this is that you will have assignments that are part of this project, and you'll want to tie in the work that you do with your assignments to the time that you spend and the experiences you have at work. As part of the process, we will verify that you are volunteering throughout the term. As part of the volunteer form, you'll need to include a contact person and a phone number and email so that we can contact your supervisor or people at the nonprofit to confirm that you are indeed volunteering there, given that it's a strong component of the overall course, this experience, and then the field assignments that are there. It'll be difficult, in fact, to complete those assignments without the experiences in hand. All right, so as we move forward and look at this course, there are specific elements here that relate to your experience in the volunteer realm. These experiential reflections are what we'll really focus on here as keying in on your volunteer work. The work that you do there and these homework assignments that you do will be from the volunteer arena. Again, you'll have other homework assignments that relate to cases, but about 15% of the overall course have homework assignments that relate to volunteerism and what you're doing with your nonprofit. So in summary then, your learning experience will be enhanced, and the content that you understand will be much stronger as you apply it to your volunteerism and to a real live nonprofit organization. Okay, so the learning, the volunteerism that you engage in is all part of your learning experience. And as a side note, by volunteering, you also expand your range of contacts. It also gives you a broader portfolio and references that you can lean upon. It also enhances your resume and kind of your experience that you bring to future employers. So there are lots of good reasons to do this and to engage in this way, and I feel fairly confident that you will enjoy this process and enjoy this course as it's designed. Again, if you have any questions, especially about the 501c3 nonprofit that you choose, or about the volunteer form, please feel free to reach out and touch base with me. Thanks.